I look over and I couldn't believe what I saw. And I quickly looked back straight at him. He said, oh my God, there's no fucking way. I just saw what I think I just saw. I'm sure that that's not what I think it was. And after a few seconds, I looked back and sure enough, Joey has undressed himself. I made the brilliant decision on my graduation day. I decided that pre-graduation ceremony, I was going to do caine. Now, I'm 18 years old, and I know what people who are watching this are thinking. They're thinking, oh, you must have did a lot of drugs. I got in a lot of trouble. There's no question about that. Believe it or not, and a lot of people are not going to believe it, that was only the second time in my entire life that I've done it. The first time was in Bahamas on my senior trip, which there's 100 stories from Dad's event. The first time I did it was about a month before on my senior trip. I thought that it made sense to basically smuggle a small bag of cocaine back in the United States and hold on to it. So before my high school graduation ceremony, I could do so. I cannot tell you what that thought process revolved around. I have no idea why I did that. At that point in my life, I think I was just doing my best to be just a peak degenerate across the board. I do like a couple of small lines and immediately I start sweating and we're inside. My buddy Jeff, he was like that friend that I had, or that, the people have that is like the more quiet of the group. And what are you doing? I was like, bro, I'm graduating. I'm going to the military in a month. Like, can I live? So he's like, yeah, hurry up. We got to go. Where are you ready to land? So I do it. My heart starts beating 1,000 miles an hour seemingly. I started to sweat. So I had to change. I basically sweated through the original button down that I had on. So I had to change clothes, jump in the car. We're heading to the high school, which fortunately wasn't too far from my house. I just lost my sense of awareness. I didn't really understand what was going on. Like, the only thing that I was thinking about over and over and over again was how unbelievably high I was. And I kept thinking to myself, how long is this going to last? Because it was getting progressively more intense. So we pull up to the high school. Now, we're going to back up to my senior prom, which is about a month before graduation. It doesn't matter, whenever that was. So my senior prom, me and my friends, we threw in our money to get a limo for ourselves and our dates. We had a plan that before the prom, we would all get together and, do whatever, drinking, meet at whoever's house and get whatever pictures, head to the prom at whatever time. I decided that I didn't want to meet up beforehand. I wanted to ride there with a buddy of mine and our dates. There was no rhyme or reason for this. I just thought that, maybe having our dates in a more intimate setting and having some drinks would just be funner than being around everybody that, we're going to be with at the end of the night anyway. So go to the prom, having a great time. At some point during the prom, the friends of mine who came in the limo that I didn't come with but had paid for, they all got kicked out of the prom. We were kicked out of the prom because somebody that was working there as a volunteer, a chaperone, or maybe the school police officer, whatever the case was, saw one of them who got in the limo and was drinking alcohol, had the window down. They saw that and he went back in. They went, searched the limo, found all the booze, kicked them all out. And not only did they kick them out, all the seniors couldn't walk at graduation. But because I'm brilliant and can see into the future, I could. So 2 weeks later, I'm called in a room with just a bunch of random nerdy people. It was all boys. That's one thing that I remember. But I remember immediately thinking to myself, this is a very odd group of people for me to be summoned with. And what the hell's going on here? One of the teachers basically said, so all of you have not yet submitted who you are going to be walking with at graduation. Now, in my case, because boys are supposed to walk with the girls, so you had a girl and whether your girlfriend or their friend, and you guys would walk in tandem for the graduation ceremony. Now, the girl that I was supposed to do it with, she was part of that crew who were drinking in the limo, got kicked out of prom, and were not able to walk at graduation. That's a really important detail for the story, because shortly after this was revealed, this fact, I look around, I'm like, oh, it makes a lot of sense, actually. These guys are no friends or found, sometimes who will hang out with you. You guys are just nerds. They basically put something out there and let us know that we had a classmate, another senior, named Joey. Joey suffered from severe autism and severe mental retardation. Now, before we go any further, for anyone who thinks that this is in any way, shape, or form going to be about making fun of people with Down syndrome or who are living with mental retardation, I'll have you know that I spent a couple of years of my youth living in a foster home where I had 2 foster sisters, both who had Down syndrome. So that's not where I'm going with that. All right. This teacher basically said, look, none of you have partnered up with anybody yet. And we have Joey who needs somebody to walk him down the aisle. Obviously, as all of you know, he has special needs, and his needs were very special. I mean, not only did he have severe mental retardation and autism, like he couldn't talk. He made sounds. His hands were kind of like disfigured. He walked really, one of his legs, it didn't seem to really work super well. So like this is kind of a big ask. And this woman's, asking basically if there were any volunteers that would be willing to walk down with Joey. And like, I'm looking around, and it was very obvious very quickly that there was nobody who was going to step up to the plate. And I just felt awkward in that moment. I didn't even want that situation to go on, any longer, as much as, it's not something I wanted to do, but I felt like it was the right thing to do. So I raised my hand. I said, I'd love to do that. No problem. Done. So now it's going to be me and Joey. And I somehow forgot about this fact because I arrived to my high school graduation high as a fucking kite. Yeah! Completely just unaware of what is about to come. Now, luckily I had a baseball hat on because my eyes were bugging out of my head, no doubt. Or at least I felt like they were. I put the baseball hat like down low because as I'm like kind of going through the crowd, saying hello to teachers, saying hello to parents, saying hello, to friends, like there's this like voice like in my head that's telling me they're all looking at you, they're all watching you, they're all judging you. They're all gonna know. They all do know. And I'm just like, holy fuck. So, hey, how you doing? Hey. Like try to get to my seat as quickly as humanly possible. And I get to my seat, the teacher who's basically like Joey's handler. Now Joey, it's our high school graduation, right? So everybody there is 18, some might be 17. Joey's probably in his mid-30s, right? Because that's how it works with them. They learn at a different rate than the rest of us. So he's probably in his mid-30s, who knows? Anyway, she walks him to me. We take our seats and the ceremony commences. Now, I'm still very high. And again, this narrative is going on in my mind. Like, how long can this possibly fucking last for? This is like unbelievable. I'm like, part of me is like thinking like, if we walk up there, it's going to be like, everybody's even looking at me. Somebody's going to fuck me. Everybody will be looking at me when they, call my name and get my diploma. So like this narrative, this like crazy, paranoid, anxious narrative is going on in my mind. And I'm just constantly thinking about like, all right, like just gonna make sure I don't trip, make sure I don't stumble, gonna make sure Joey is okay. And as I think that, I look over and I couldn't believe what I saw. And I quickly looked back straight at him. He said, oh my God, there's no fucking way. I just saw what I think I just saw. So I'm just gonna keep looking straight here for a few. And I'm sure that that's not what I think it was. And after a few seconds, I look back and sure enough, Joey has undressed himself. Joey has taken off his robe fully. His cap is on the ground somewhere, okay? And he has taken his button-down shirt completely off, okay? And fortunately, all right, we were in the back, like one of the back rows of the ceremony, but the parents and spectators are up on the bleachers. So there's, absolutely no way the majority of people who are there in Finland are not seeing this. So naturally, like I'm thinking when anybody who was in that position, higher than mind, off cocaine, sitting next to a individual with severe Down syndrome who has just undressed himself at the high school graduation ceremony. I'm thinking, where is this guy's handler? Because someone needs to come over here and like help him get dressed. It's ridiculous. Where are they at? And after probably a minute or so, all right, which seemed like an hour, it quickly became clear to me that I know he was coming. There was nobody coming to save me, okay? I needed to be the hero of my own story. So I also didn't want to like make it like egregious and obvious and disruptive. So I kind of like, started moving myself over just a little bit and, slowly like get the button down shirt, kind of like grab this arm, and its arms like it was a bit disfigured. Look, it was no easy task, but I got it done despite being high as a kite, despite just the overall, look, a lot of pressure in that situation. Look, I've been in a lot of high pressure situations. I'm going to go on a limb saying that might be in the top 5. Certainly. I've been through some shit. Anyway, got it done.
Great success.
Feeling really good about myself, as you can imagine. In my mind, I just saved the entire graduation ceremony for everybody. Like, you're welcome, parents. So now we're in line to start our walk of calling people, grabbing their diploma, and we're getting closer. Now, like, even though I'm still like a little jacked up, bit hot, right? But I have my, you got the robe on, so it's covering the sweat that is, no doubt bleeding through my shirt. Like, all right, this is almost over. Thank fuck. So I'm next, go up, grab my diploma, and as I, grab the diploma and just start stepping in the direction towards the exit of the stage, all of a sudden, man, the crowd just like starts going nuts. Everybody started cheering, clapping. I'm looking up and people are standing up, and I'm like, hell yeah. I was like, finding I'm getting they're out there celebrating the fact that I just saved, my act of heroism is being celebrated. These people are acknowledging me. More people start cheering, more people start clapping, more people start yelling. And dude, now I'm really feeling myself. I'm like, hell yeah. And I had the diploma, and I throw it up like The Rock. I was a big wrestling fan at the time. And then I looked back. So I was, standing in the crowd, looking at everybody cheering for me. And I look back, and they're not cheering for me. They're cheering for Joey, it's taking him quite some time to make his way to the podium. So as he's getting closer to the podium, the crowd just, in support. And my dumb high ass thought that pop was for me. Biggest pop of the day. No, it was for the legend Joey, which, look, good on him. But yeah, that pretty much sums up my high school graduation day.